Hello and welcome to this webinar entitled GDPR Cutting Through the Confusion with me, Keith Markham. As always, let's begin by having a look at the agenda. So the first thing we're going to look at is what are the applicable rules? And many of you will know that since the GDPR came into force, obviously there was one GDPR, and then we get to Brexit and we end up with two GDPRs. We have the UK GDPR, which of course is of primary interest to us today. However, there's also the EU GDPR, which is effectively the original. And what we're going to look at to start with is which of those is applicable to you in what circumstances. So we'll briefly have a look at that. And then we're going to get our teeth into a whole load of UK GDPR related issues, questions that are often asked that need to be dealt with, and sort of concerns and confusions that need to be dispelled. So the first thing we're going to look at is the issue of lawful bases. So there are a number of lawful bases. Effectively, these are justifications for carrying out processing of personal data. And obviously, one of the most famous of those is consent. Another one that's a little bit more infamous, I think it's fair to say, is the issue of legitimate interests of the controller. So we're going to have a look at which of those potentially we can use, particularly in order to carry out direct marketing. And we'll have a look at one or two other lawful bases as well as we go. So that's the second topic. After that, we'll then look at international data transfers. We won't go through all of that today. Instead, we will look at a particular issue, which is the fact that in terms of contractual safeguards, there are two possibilities that present themselves to UK-based controllers, and they are to use the International Data Transfer Agreement, which is unique to the UK, but it's also possible to use the European Union standard contractual clauses as long as you execute something called the UK Addendum. And we're going to look briefly at those two approaches and consider which one might be the more appropriate course of action.